Hi everyone, I'm going to make some videos about 2.4 for my Math OAD2 students. These are word problems. Most of my students that I encounter do not enjoy word problems, but they're really not that bad. Okay, we just need some strategies for working with word problems. Okay, so the first strategy I always use whenever I'm having to do word problems is that I go through the problem and I read through it and I try to highlight, circle, or underline anything that looks important, which is kind of shorthand for saying anything that is a number, right? So we have 11 coins, right? And we know that 11 coins together have a value of $1.85. Okay, so those are all the numbers that I see. But we have some more information that's kind of numbers in disguise, if you will, right? We're told that the numbers are either quarters. We're told that the numbers are either quarters, right, or dimes. Okay, so what do we know about quarters, right? I mean, it sounds kind of stupid and obvious, but we know that the monetary value of quarters is 25 cents. So I'm going to write it like that, right? That's how we write money. And then we know that dimes have a monetary value of 10 cents. Okay? And then the last part that is actually the most important, and sometimes people don't even realize how important it is the sentence that asks you to find something. Okay? And what we want to know is how many coins does the child have, right? And the two coins that we're talking about in this problem, of course, are quarters and dimes. Okay, so I could actually rewrite this, right, and say how many quarters, right? We want to find the number of quarters, right? And then we also want to find the number of dimes. Okay, so those are the two variables that we're going to use. Okay, you can use any letters that you want, X, Y, A, B, doesn't matter. I think I will use Q for quarters, and I will use D for dimes. Again, it's totally up to you, your choice of a variable. Okay, so what do we know about the number of quarters and the number of dimes, right? Well, we know that if we added the number of quarters, right, and the number of dimes together, right, what is the total number of coins the child has? Well, let's go back and read it, right? It says that in the child's bank there are 11 coins. So that means that the number of quarters, Q, whatever that is, and the number of dimes, total, add up to 11, right? That's not the monetary value, that's just how many coins there are. So that is our first equation. That's it. Okay? Then we also know, and I'm going to start with the right side of the equation first, right? We know that the monetary value, right, if I counted up the money like you do, I added them all together, that would give me $1.85. Okay, so how can I write that? Well, what I need to do is I need to figure out the number of quarters, right? And I would take that, like if I have, let's just think about this, right? So let's think about quarters, right? If I have 1 quarter, right, that's 25 cents. If I have 2 quarters, right, that means I have 50 cents. If I have 3 quarters, that means I have 75 cents. So what am I doing over here, right? How am I getting these numbers, right? It's not magic, it's just math, right? All I'm doing is multiplying 25 cents times, right, the number of quarters that I have. That's how I'm figuring out the monetary value. So if I take 25 cents and multiply it by however many quarters this kid has, right, that's going to give me the amount of money in quarters that I have, okay? And we can do the same thing with dimes, right? You guys, you don't even need to write a chart. You could do this in your head, right? If you have 1 dime, it would be 10 cents. If you have 2 dimes, you'd have 20 cents, and so on, right? And again, the math that you're doing without even thinking about it is that you are multiplying the number of dimes, however many coins there are, right, by 10 cents. That's what you're doing in your head, okay? So that is your second equation, okay? So from here, right, what are our options? Our three options, right? In 2.1, we learned how to solve by graphing, right? So if I felt like I wanted to graph these two equations, I could, right, either by hand or using technology. A second method that we learned was to use substitution, right? So what I'd have to go through and do is I'd have to solve for Q or D, right, in the first equation and then put that into the second equation, right? Or I could use elimination, which, again, I think the textbook refers to as addition. I don't like that term, so I use elimination, okay? But they're referring to the same process, okay? I'm going to stop here simply because I'm going to make other videos that are independent that will spend more time going over these specific strategies of substitution and elimination, okay? And the purpose of this video really is to teach you how to identify your variables, right? Extract the information and set up these two equations.